Let's learn some shit, shall we? It's easy to think about history as shit that happened way in the past. Vietnam, World War II, the American Revolution, Civil War. But there are some things in modern history that completely go under the radar. This is one such thing. Today we're going to talk about one of the coolest things we have ever done. And before I hear this,
oh, he's just a simp for Elon.
This has nothing to do with Elon and everything to do with SpaceX, who is making ungodly technological advances every day. So today we're going to talk about SpaceX's pride and joy, Falcon 9. Standing nearly 140 feet tall, her 9 Merlin 1D engines generate 1.7 million pounds of thrust, propelling her and whatever the hell she is carrying at the speed of Mach Jesus in upwards of 17,500 miles per hour. It's not as fast as the manhole cover, but still pretty fast. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the video. It's the second one pinned on my page. It's when the US government created a ghetto warp drive. Falcon 9 is the first fully reusable rocket in which the first stage booster can be launched multiple times. Now, how do they do that? Thank you so much for asking. They do something that up until December 22nd, 2015 was considered physically impossible. They fucking land a rocket. When she launches, she roughly takes about 3 minutes to get the stage separation. That's where the first stage booster and the second stage separate. From that point, it roughly takes about another 5 minutes or so to get the second stage and whatever it's carrying into low Earth orbit. The first stage then does the coolest thing ever. It performs a boost back burn, which flips the rocket the other way, and then essentially does a controlled crash. She falls back through the atmosphere using 4 fucking tennis rackets to control her descent. About 100 feet above the ground, she relights 3 Merlin D1 engines to drain all of the velocity of the fall off of it, creating an epic fucking sonic boom, and then lands on the landing pad only a couple 100 feet from where it first launched. Less than 10 minutes ago. Let me break this down how actually hard this is. Landing a rocket like this is like taking a 9mm, shooting a bullseye, while on the back of a horse, traveling on a train, blindfolded, while you're being chased by a grizzly bear. That's how hard this is. It's so hard that NASA didn't even do it. NASA's been launching shit since the 60s. They made a fucking reusable space plane, but they couldn't figure out how to bring the 2 solid boosters that got the space plane up into space back down to the launch pad. They just splashed down into the ocean. They still don't. The Artemis rocket still splashed down into the ocean. And what SpaceX did with this rocket is absolutely insane. SpaceX can play Pimp My Ride with Falcon 9 for anything that needs to be done. Need to put some satellites up? There's a Falcon 9 for that. Need to put some heavy-ass shit up? There's a Falcon 9 for that with Falcon Heavy. Need to send some DoorDash to the ISS? Falcon 9 with Cargo Dragon. Need to send some homies up there? Falcon 9 with Crew Dragon. Need to rescue a couple astronauts off the International Space Station? You know, because Boeing dropped the ball and stranded them there with their shit-ass capsule? Too soon? There's a Falcon 9 for that. What I'm trying to get at is SpaceX basically created the spaceship version of the UH-60 Blackhawk. There is a fucking Blackhawk for everything. Need to get grunts onto the battlefield? There's a Blackhawk. Need to get grunts off the battlefield? There's a Blackhawk. Need to basically erase the battlefield? There's a Blackhawk. The Fat Electrician does a great video on it. Go watch it. So Falcon 9 is the space Blackhawk. Why would they need a reusable rocket like that? Thank you so much for asking. You see, one of the most ungodly technologically advanced things that SpaceX does is Starlink. The satellite-based internet service. You know, that can be pretty much accessed anywhere on the planet, as long as you can see the sky. And in my last check, you can see the sky pretty much fucking anywhere. Why does that matter? Well, currently there are 7,086 Starlink satellites in orbit. Each Falcon 9 carries roughly 24 to 25, but can carry up to 60. And how do you get satellites up there? You send them at the speed of Mach Jesus on a rocket. So let's do some math. Each Falcon 9 carries about 25. There's 7,000 up there. Carry the 4. That's a lot of fucking launches. And in order to make that economical, you have to be able to reuse the rocket. As it is, when the space shuttle was flying, it cost $1.6 billion to put it up. With a fucking B. It costs roughly $67 million to put up a Falcon 9. And believe it or not, in rocket math, that's a lot more economical. I'm going to put it this way, Falcon 9 is the Spirit Airlines for astronauts. I bet they don't have to pay for checked luggage. So in conclusion, SpaceX created a Nerds and Crafts project in which they took the idea of the UH-60 Black Hawk and applied it to the rocket, creating the most epic Falcon 9. A rocket that SpaceX can play Pimp My Ride and make it configurable for any mission necessary. It heads up at the speed of Mach Jesus, returns at the speed of Mach Fuck, and then lands at the launch pad. And all of this for the low, low price of $67 million, making it the Spirit Airline for astronauts. And with that being said, thanks for watching. The best way to support me is to like, comment, or share in these videos. Episode 4 of By the People is up. Merch link is in my bio for the Spring Break 1776 and Paul Revere's Pub Crawl shirts. I am working on a website with all the links for this stuff, as well as a Discord. Those will be up hopefully by the end of the week. And with that being said, be nice, be kind, be patient.